Let me ask you something real. How many lies have you been living just to feel comfortable? We live in a world addicted to soft truths, wrapped in filters, delivered in likes, packaged in applause. But the truth, the real, raw, inconvenient, uncomfortable, gut-punching truth, nobody wants to touch that because truth doesn't cuddle you, it confronts you. And most people would rather stay numb than wake up to the pain of who they've become. But if you want to change your life, if you really want to become the person you keep seeing in your dreams, you better get ready to hear some things that sting, because growth starts where your excuses end. So let me say this clearly. This ain't a speech for people who want to feel good. It's for people who are ready to get free. It's for people tired of faking it, tired of blaming, tired of being stuck in the same place, calling it destiny when really it's just distraction. You don't need more motivation. You need truth, and not the kind that just nods politely. I'm talking about the kind of truth that flips the mirror on you and says, this is why your life looks the way it does. I remember talking to a young man once, talented, smart, had every advantage, but he kept messing up. Job to job, dream to dream, one step forward, 3 steps back. He sat across from me and said, I just don't get it. Why isn't anything working out for me? And I looked at him not with judgment, but with love. And I said, because you've spent your whole life trying to get away from pain when pain was the very thing trying to teach you how to grow. Let me tell you something nobody told me when I was younger. Life will teach you through trauma if you refuse to learn through truth. So today, I'm not here to babysit your feelings. I'm here to hand you 35 hard truths. And yeah, they might hurt. They might make you uncomfortable. They might force you to look at yourself in ways you've been avoiding. But I promise you this. They'll set you free if you're ready to receive them. Because the first step to becoming who you're called to be is this. You have to kill the version of you that's addicted to comfort, addicted to being liked, addicted to blaming, addicted to waiting. Today, you stop waiting. Today, you face it all. Today, you hear what most people won't, so you can become what most people can't. This isn't just about truth. This is about transformation. And if you've got the guts to walk with me for the next 30 minutes, you won't recognize the person you were when this started. Let's talk. Let's get this straight right now. Life doesn't owe you a thing. Not success, not happiness, not comfort, not peace, not closure, not applause. You weren't promised any of it. And the moment you start acting like the world owes you something, you already lost. See too many people walking around angry at life because it didn't hand them what they thought they deserved. But life is not fair. Life is not easy. Life is not a genie waiting on your wish list. Truth M1. Just because you work hard doesn't mean you'll win. That's real. You can put in the time, grind all night, show up early, and still not get the reward you expected. Why? Because results aren't guaranteed. Responsibility is. Truth N2. Your dreams don't matter if you don't do the work. Nobody cares about your vision board if you won't get up and take that first step. Dreams without action are just illusions. And some of y'all have been dreaming for 10 years and doing nothing for 10 years. Truth in 3, the world will not stop spinning just because you're tired, hurt, or confused. It keeps moving. It doesn't slow down when you fall apart. So you have 2 options, break with it or rise in it. You want rest? Earn it. You want peace? Build it. You want time? Make it. I remember watching my mother raise us on her own. No help, no shortcuts, just long nights, aching bones and hope. You know what I never heard her say? That's not fair. She didn't have time for that. She didn't wait for fair. She just did what had to be done. That's what I mean when I say life owes you nothing. And the sooner you get that, the sooner you stop waiting and start working. Truth M4. People don't fail because they're not good enough. They fail because they think being good should be enough. Talent's cute, potential is pretty, but execution is the only language success speaks. You think the world's going to open the door for you because you could be great? Nah, it opens for those who prove they are. Truth 4, life will not wait for you to heal. You've been using pain as your excuse long enough. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, you had it harder than others, but you don't get to stay there because nobody's coming to rescue you. And every day you delay your healing is another day. Your purpose sits on the shelf, gathering dust. Truth 6, nobody owes you support. That includes your friends, your family, your boss, your spouse. Support is a gift, not a right. You can either resent people for not helping, or you can learn to stand without them. You know what I learned early? The most powerful thing you'll ever do is show up for yourself when nobody else does. That's where real power begins. Not in crowds, not in claps, but in solitude when it's just you, your calling, and the decision to rise anyway. Truthy 7. The universe doesn't reward desire. It rewards discipline. Wanting something bad doesn't make it yours. You want the reward, but are you willing to run the miles? You want the blessing, but are you willing to carry the burden? Desire is cheap. Discipline is currency. And hear me loud on this. If you walk through life with a handout instead of a head up, you will miss every opportunity designed to make you stronger. Because life's greatest gifts don't come in packages. They come in pressure. You don't grow through being given everything. You grow by learning how to build something out of nothing. So stop waiting for life to deliver you and start delivering on what life already gave you. A shot, a mind, a choice. And if you're still breathing, if you've still got strength in your bones and fire in your chest, then stop begging for miracles and start becoming one, because life doesn't owe you a thing, but you owe it to yourself to answer the call. Take a good look in the mirror, not the one that checks your hair, not the one that flatters your angles. I'm talking about the mirror that shows your patterns, your excuses, your habits, your pain, and your potential. Because the truth is this, the biggest thing standing between you and your next level is it's not your boss. It's not your upbringing. It's not your ex, your bank account, or your skin color. It's not your zip code or your zodiac sign. It's you. And until you're willing to face that truth, you will stay exactly where you are. Truth innate. Your life is a reflection of your decisions, not your desires. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants peace. Everybody wants success, but wanting it doesn't make it real. Choosing it does. And what do your choices say about you? Truth on 9. You say you want change, but you keep protecting your dysfunction. You can't heal from what you keep defending. You can't grow if you keep justifying what's killing you. Some of you are more loyal to your comfort zone than your calling. Truth on 10. If your life is always full of drama, it's not bad luck. It's bad boundaries. You attract what you tolerate. You entertain what you refuse to confront. And if every relationship feels like a battlefield, maybe the war isn't out there. Maybe the war is inside you. Let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way. Nobody's coming to fix you. Nobody's coming to make you whole. Nobody's coming to build the life you keep talking about. You can read all the quotes. You can repost all the reels. You can go to every conference and sit in the front row. But if you don't change your patterns, you'll just repeat your pain in new places. Truth on 11. You are not tired. You're just undisciplined. You're not exhausted because you're doing too much. You're exhausted because you're doing too little of what actually matters. Scrolling, overthinking, doubting, that drains you more than the work ever could. Truth in 12. You're not stuck. You're just scared. And instead of facing the fear, you wrapped it in excuses. You gave it a name like timing or wisdom or waiting on God. Let me say it straight. God already gave you the vision. Now it's your turn to move. Truth. Win 13. Your excuses are seducing you. They sound good, don't they? I don't have time. It's not the right season. I'm not ready yet. But every time you say those words, you shrink your own life. You delay your own breakthrough. And you teach your future self to settle. Truth 114. You cannot heal in the same environment that broke you. That means you might have to leave the circle, the house, the relationship, the job. Not because you're better, but because you're becoming better. And that version of you can't breathe in the same air that kept the old one suffocating. Truth 15, your mindset is louder than your circumstances. What you believe about your life will always override what's actually happening in it. So if your mind is full of fear, everything looks like a threat. If your mind is full of insecurity, every opportunity feels like pressure. If your mind is full of doubt, even a miracle looks like a mistake. Let me ask you something that might cut deep. If you saw someone else living your life right now, would you respect them? Would you admire how they speak, how they show up, how they lead, how they love? Or would you feel sorry for them? Because if your answer makes you uncomfortable, good. Discomfort is the first sign of awakening. The mirror doesn't lie. It just waits for you to finally look. So here's the truth. You are not the victim of your story. You are the author. And if you don't like the chapter you're in, you can write a new one. But it won't happen by chance. It happens by choice. So stop blaming. Stop hiding. Stop waiting for someone else to fix what only you have the authority to change. Because the day you take full responsibility for your life is the day your life finally becomes yours. You want success? You want to win? You want to build something real, something that lasts? They good. Now let me break your heart with the truth. It's not complicated, but it's hard as hell. Success doesn't belong to the smartest. It doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the ones who are willing to suffer through the process when everybody else is looking for shortcuts. Truth and 16. Success is boring. Yeah, you heard me. It ain't fireworks and applause and viral moments. It's repetition. It's waking up early when no one's watching. It's making the call again, writing the page again, lifting the weight again, and doing it even when you're not in the mood. Truth 17. Talent will open the door, but character is what keeps you in the room. Some of you keep losing opportunities not because you weren't good enough, but because your attitude couldn't handle the blessing. You want elevation? Then check your integrity, your consistency, your discipline. Truth in 18. You can't rise if you can't be told. Some of y'all too sensitive to be successful. Can't take correction, can't take critique, can't be coached, but you want the crown. The grind requires humility because elevation starts with submission. Submission to the process, to growth, to the truth you don't want to hear. Truth in 19. You will have to repeat boring habits before you ever see exciting results. There's no magic. There's no shortcut. There's just a grind that most people won't stick with long enough to see the reward. Truth in 20. Your feelings don't matter to success. This one hurts, but it's real. Success doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you don't feel inspired. It doesn't care if you're having a rough week, because success shows up every day, and it only partners with those who do the same. You ever see a brick wall being built? It ain't sexy. It's one brick at a time. But one day, it's a fortress. That's your life. Every habit you keep, every decision you repeat, it's a brick. Stack it right, and you'll build something solid. Stack it wrong, and one win of adversity will blow it all down. Truth on 21. You will outgrow people, and it will hurt. Let's go deeper. Success will cost you relationships. Some people won't recognize the version of you who takes life seriously. Some will call you fake. Some will say you changed. You didn't change, you grew, and they didn't. Truth on 22. Not everyone clapping for you wants to see you win. Watch for the ones who disappear when you succeed. Success exposes loyalty. You're not paranoid. You're just awake. Truth in 23. You'll feel like quitting way more times than you'll feel like continuing. That's the battle. You think people who make it are special? Nah, they just didn't stop. They cried and kept going. They failed and kept going. They doubted and kept going. Truth in 24. You can either sacrifice for your goals, or your goals will become the sacrifice. You don't get both. You can't live like everybody else and expect to win like nobody else. Discipline will feel like punishment, but it's actually freedom in disguise. Truth and 25. The grind doesn't care about your excuses. Late start? So what? Tough childhood? So did a lot of people. No support? Welcome to the club. You either let your story become your excuse or your reason. Let me tell you something personal. There were nights I sat in silence, wondering if any of it would pay off. When I gave everything and still felt behind, but I kept showing up. Not because I always believed in the outcome, but because I made a decision to become the kind of man who doesn't quit. That decision changed everything. See, the grind isn't just about building the dream, it's about building you. Grinding doesn't just make money, it makes discipline. It makes focus, it makes legacy. But only if you stop looking for comfort and start living in commitment. So you say you want it, then stop talking. Start showing up. Start proving it. And when it gets hard, go harder. Because success doesn't come to the most excited. It comes to the most committed. Let's talk about people. Not everyone in your circle is in your corner. Not everyone smiling at you is rooting for you. And not everyone walking with you is meant to go where you're headed. See, most people don't want the real truth about relationships because it's too uncomfortable. They'd rather hold on to fake love than face real loneliness. They'd rather keep toxic company than grow alone. But hear me, growth requires separation. Elevation demands that you travel light. Truth and 26. Some people love you as long as you stay small. They clap for you when you're dreaming, but go silent when you start building. They'll cheer when you're struggling, but vanish when you start shining. You want to test who's real? Succeed. Watch how fast fake love dries up. Truth in 27. Loyalty has an expiration date with the wrong people. You think just because they've been around a long time, they're loyal? Let me tell you something. Time doesn't equal trust. Consistency does. Honor does. And the truth is, some of the people closest to you only stayed close because they never believed you'd grow past them. It's hard, I know, because when you love big, you expect others to love you the same way back. But expectation without discernment sets you up for betrayal. Truths on 28. Most people are loyal to their need of you, not to you. The moment you stop feeding their comfort, their ego, their benefit, they're gone. And you're left wondering what you did wrong. But you didn't do anything wrong, you just stopped performing in their circus. And now you're free. Let me break this down even deeper. You are not responsible for managing other people's insecurities. You are not required to keep shrinking so they feel taller. You are not obligated to stay the version of yourself they're comfortable with. Truth in 29. Growth will make you outgrow people. That's the price. You start thinking differently. You start talking differently. You start making moves, setting boundaries, protecting your peace, and suddenly people say you've changed. Yeah, you have. Because you were tired of pretending you didn't see the manipulation, tired of staying quiet to keep the peace while your soul was screaming. And if becoming who God called you to be cost you relationships that were rooted in comfort and not purpose, so be it. Truth, then 30. You will be misunderstood. That's not a possibility. That's a guarantee. The moment you start taking yourself seriously, somebody's going to think you're arrogant. The moment you start setting boundaries, someone's going to say you're difficult. The moment you stop explaining yourself, someone's going to call you selfish. Let them. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth. You don't have to dim your light to be liked. You don't have to stay stuck just to make somebody else feel safe. And let me give you one more that hurts. Truth on 31. Sometimes the person holding you back is the one you love the most. It could be your partner, your friend, even family. And this is where it gets hard. Because love doesn't always mean alignment. Some people mean well, but they don't carry your vision. They can't walk your path. They don't hear the same calling you do. So you have a choice. Live for their approval or walk in your assignment. And if they truly love you, they'll catch up. If they don't, they were never with you in the first place. Look, I'm not telling you to live bitter. I'm telling you to live bold, with clarity, with wisdom, with boundaries. Because when you stop looking for external validation, you start walking in internal authority. You don't need 1,000 people to believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself enough to stop letting people treat your purpose like it's optional. So stop waiting for permission. Stop apologizing for your growth. Stop explaining your vision to people who are committed to misunderstanding it. Let them talk. Let them walk. Let them doubt. And you keep building, because not everyone is for you, but the ones who are won't need convincing. Here's the final truth, and it might just be the one that breaks something open inside you. Nothing in your life is going to change until you do. You can pray all day. You can journal, plan, manifest, and visualize all you want. But if you're not willing to confront the version of you that keeps sabotaging your destiny, your future will look just like your past. Dressed up in new excuses. This is where most people stop. Right here, at the edge of transformation. Because this is where it gets real. This is where the old version of you has to die so the new one can breathe. And dying to who you were, that ain't easy. But it's necessary. Truth in 32. Your new life will cost you your old one. It will cost you your comfort. It will cost you your circle. It will cost you your patterns. It will cost you the lies you've been telling yourself just to survive. But survival isn't the goal anymore, is it? You didn't come this far just to breathe. You came to build. So stop asking God for a breakthrough if you're not willing to break patterns. Stop asking for next level if you're still clinging to old level behaviors. Elevation demands elimination. Some of the stuff you're praying for can't come because your character ain't built to hold it yet. Truth 33. Change isn't an event. It's a decision you have to make daily. You think transformation is a moment? It's a grind. It's the quiet choice you make every morning when no one's watching. To show up, to stay disciplined, to speak life, to kill the excuses before they kill your purpose. You have to become before you can receive. Everybody wants overflow, but can you be trusted with obedience? Can you stay faithful even when nothing's moving? Can you plant seeds in silence and keep showing up without applause? That's growth. That's transformation. That's power. Truth 3 and 4, you will never fix a spiritual problem with physical solutions. Some of you are tired because you're trying to fight spiritual battles with worldly tools. And you're chasing money, validation, numbers. But the real war is in your identity, in your soul, in your beliefs. You can't win if you don't know who you are. And you can't walk in purpose if you keep living in shame. So let me remind you of something. You are not what you did. You are not what they said. You are not your failures, your setbacks, or your darkest moment. You are chosen. You are capable. You are enough. But even with all that truth, none of it matters if you don't act. Which brings me to the final truth. Truth and 35. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your partner, not your pastor, not your mentor, not the algorithm, not the government, not fate, not luck. You. You're the one. You're the one who has to get up. You're the one who has to rewrite the story. You're the one who has to get serious, get honest, get hungry again. And the beautiful thing is, you can. You can change. You can grow. You can walk away from everything that kept you bound and build something so strong, so real, so undeniable that even your past has to clap for your future. But you have to choose. Right here, right now, not someday, not next year, not when it's easier. Now, because your life won't change when the calendar flips. It won't change when someone gives you permission. It won't change when you finally get the apology you never got. It changes when you do. So stop waiting. The moment is now. The power is yours. And the shift begins with you. Let me leave you with this. The truth isn't always easy. It's not supposed to be. It doesn't come to comfort you. It comes to wake you up. You just heard 35 harsh truths. Not because I wanted to impress you, but because I want to ignite you. You've got one life, one shot, one name, one legacy. And no matter what's behind you, there is still so much in front of you. But it won't happen by chance. It won't fall into your lap. It won't be handed to you just because you survived the hard things. It'll happen when you finally decide that the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. So what now? Now, you choose. You choose discipline over distraction. You choose purpose over people-pleasing. You choose alignment over approval. You choose to stop running from the truth and start running with it. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to build your life for you. No one's going to write your legacy but you. And no one's going to hand you greatness while you're sitting in comfort. So get up, show up, speak up, and do the work. You already have what it takes. Now it's time to become who it takes. Not tomorrow. Not when it's easy. Right now. You've heard the truth. Now live like it.